From some American muscle car classics to a model that only had 7 made, here is Vin Diesel's private car collection revealed. Though Vin Diesel is known far and wide for his portrayal of Dom Toretto in the Fast and Furious series, he likes to keep a lot of his private life under wraps. That being said, one thing he is keen to share is personal car collection, which would definitely make his Fast and Furious family pretty jealous. With a huge number of cars in his garage, his total collection clocking in at value of over $5 million. It might be pretty hard to find a good place to start. So, what better place than Diesel's personal favorite, a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS? Now, Dom Toretto has actually driven a few of these beauties throughout the Fast and Furious saga. In fact, Vin Diesel joked that he actually stole one from the set, although he did go on to say that this was one of the perks of being a producer on the franchise. I mean, it's pretty clear why Diesel would want one of these in his personal collection. Sporting a 7.5-liter V8 engine, the Chevelle SS produces 450 horsepower with 500 pound-feet of torque. Since it also pulls off a 0 to 60 in just under 5 seconds, this baby was one of the fastest accelerating cars in the world when it was released. We see Toretto drive a modified SS in a street race in Fast and Furious 4, although it is one that we see Dom modify himself. Now, one of the cars used during the filming of Fast and Furious 4 went at auction in Australia for over 100,000 Australian dollars. It would make sense that Vin Diesel's personal model would likely go for even more if he ever decided to sell. But seeing as the Chevy is Vin Diesel's self-professed favorite car, it's pretty unlikely that he would want to part with it anytime soon. Now, whether the car's appearance in the franchise started with Toretto or Diesel is hard to say, but that probably means that the two are pretty similar, at least when it comes to their taste in cars. The next car we have is a pretty iconic one, the 1994 Toyota Supra. This one appeared in the original The Fast and the Furious film. Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor, brought a rusted Supra to Dom's garage to pay him back for the Mitsubishi Eclipse that was destroyed earlier in the film. The Torettos and Brian soup up the heap of junk and turn it into an absolute monster in the street. Now, it's unlikely that Diesel's personal model sports the same custom mods that we see in the film, let alone the bright orange paint job. The Supra features a twin-turbo 3-liter i6 engine, giving it 321 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque. It managed to clear 0-60 in 4.6 seconds, despite its heavy 3,450 pound weight. The standard price of the Supra was a modest $40,000. However, the model driven by Paul Walker in the movie sold at auction for over $500,000, and while it's unlikely Vin Diesel's personal car would fetch quite a price. His name alone would likely add a fair amount to the price tag if he were to sell. Part of the reason why the series has likely continued for over 20 years now is probably due to how much the cast and crew love each other. The theme of family is definitely not just for show. Diesel is actually the godfather of Paul's daughter, Meadow. Now, Paul Walker clearly had a huge impact on Diesel. When he tragically died during the filming of Furious 7 in 2013, Vin Diesel was devastated. Since he has paid tribute to Paul in every film following Furious 7, Dom Toretto named his son Brian, and Vin named his own daughter Pauline after Paul. So when he celebrated his 52nd birthday on the set of Fast and Furious 9, he was given a 1970 Dodge Charger tantrum by his Fast family.
What? I'm speechless. Custom leather too. Carbon fiber pants. Age of black.
Which is a damn fine birthday present if you ask me. An emotional Vin Diesel expressed his gratitude to his family as well as his late friend Paul. It's honestly really touching and shows just how much the cast and crew really love working together. Now, this is arguably Dom Toretto's most iconic car, having appeared in 5 of the 9 films in the series, and has a lot of important character history behind it too. Diesel's tantrum packs a twin-turbocharged 9-liter Mercury Racing V8 engine, which puts out an eye-popping 1,350 horsepower. A lot of work went into customizing the car to make it more like Toretto's on-screen build, which is estimated to have cost almost $700,000. That's a really good birthday present. I wonder if he got anything for Christmas that year. Now, seeing as Fast and Furious is a series with a bit of an emphasis on cars, it's hard to find any cars in Diesel's garage that haven't appeared in some form or another. But there are a few that don't feature quite as heavily that Diesel does himself like to drive. These include a Dodge Charger Daytona 69, which only had 503 examples ever built, a 1960 Pontiac Bonneville, a monster of a car that's nearly 20 feet long, a 1970 Barracuda, and a 1993 Mazda RX-7. But it's not just all street racers though. Diesel is also a family man and needs some more practical ways to get around, including a 2010 BMW M5, a 2009 Subaru Impreza, a Range Rover, and even a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. I guess it's nice to have options. Seriously, the guy can probably pick cars the way the rest of us pick outfits. What do I want to drive today? The Sprinter wasn't originally his, but belonged to his close friend and co-star, Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese apparently did his own custom job on the van, adding a fridge and a huge TV into its interior. Gibson also gifted his party bus to Diesel as a birthday present, since apparently custom cars are apparently his favorite gift. Diesel must be a really nice guy and have some equally nice friends, because goddamn they are really generous. Now, the last car we will be looking at is arguably the crown jewel of Diesel's collection, as owning a 2014 Lykan Hypersport puts you in a pretty exclusive club, since only 7 of these were ever made. Wow, it's worth remembering that there are more Fast and Furious movies than there are units of this car, so it feels only fitting that Diesel owns one. The Lykan is easily the most expensive car in Diesel's collection, setting him back a casual $3.8 million, which is just mental. The Lykan was actually the 3rd most expensive car in the world when it was released, featuring a twin-turbo 3.7-liter flat-6 engine, 780 horsepower, and 708 pound-feet of torque. The Lykan can clear 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and tops out at 245 miles per hour. But it's not just those specs that give it the multi-million-dollar price tag. The Lykan actually has jewels embedded into its headlights and gold stitched into the seats. In fact, owners can actually choose what kind of jewels they want based on color choice. While we don't know what Diesel opted to go with, it's possible that he went with either rubies, diamonds, or sapphires. Absolutely insane. Now, a Lykan also featured in Furious 7 in a memorable scene when we see Dom and Brian drive one of these beasts from one of Abu Dhabi's Etihad skyscrapers to another, and then to another. But don't worry, this one was custom built for the movie with cheaper materials, and doesn't count towards the 7 total. Hopefully, Diesel treats his Lykan better than Dom does in the movie. So there you have it. The Fast and Furious series clearly isn't just for show. Vin Diesel really does love his cars, with a truly incredible collection, most of which appear in his movies. It might be worth keeping an eye out on what we see Dom driving in the next movie, as it seems that's where Diesel gets a lot of his inspiration from. Who knows what else he will be adding to his garage? From what we've seen, his collection is only going to keep growing as he keeps making films. So, from a car the Chevelle SS to the Lykan Hypersport, that was Vin Diesel's private car collection revealed. Until next time.